My name is Tecumseh Underwood.
David Wayne Johnson.
Alex Fish.
Gerald Williams.
James Walter L. Larney.
Randall Russell Joshua.
Philip William Kuhn Jr.
My name is Rex Haley. I'm also the commander of Seminole Nation Honor Guard, and I was with the U.S. Army.
And here we go, our Seminole Nation Honor Guard. Philip Kuhn. Woo! Woo-hoo! Honor Guard representing the Honor Guard Princess. Very proud moment.
Our organization was started in the early 1980s. We're always looking for new people that have honorable discharge with the military.
Honor Guard is to take care of our fallen, our brothers in arms. That is our main objective, to honor our fallen.
And if it wasn't for the color guard, well, I don't think my dad, my two brothers would have gotten that from anybody else, you know.
And we was the first honor guard, tribal honor guard in the state of Oklahoma. So I'm proud of that. And we, to this day, we help other tribes to do different functions.
All we had back then was one uniform, and that was the camouflage uniform. But things have changed a lot since the old honor guards was in.
Okay. I had two older brothers. One got drafted and the other one joined up. The oldest one, and when they went in, I followed them because I felt it was my duty to be with them.
I wasn't drafted, I enlisted. And they had a policy with the United States Army that if you enlisted in the Army and had siblings, well, your siblings would not go. And so I decided, well, you know, that might be a pretty good deal, you know, keep my siblings out of Vietnam.
I was living on my own at that time. I just turned 18, enlisted in the Marine Corps. Other people asked me how come I joined the Marine Corps instead of going to the Army or engineers, stuff like that. I said, I just want to be thought about being in the Marine Corps.
Started serving when I got out of high school. I had to make a decision, so I joined the service. And I made it a career out of it.
I went straight in the Army after I got out of high school. The reason I joined because the day I went and signed up for the draft, I said, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get this over with before they do draft me.
I was 17 years old, and I was a junior in high school, and being raised by a single parent, just my mother. And, you know, back then I was ashamed to say this, but now, as I'm old enough, I'm not ashamed to say this. We were poor. We were poor when I was growing up, and in order to help pay for my senior pictures, senior rings, my leather jacket, that's the reason I joined the military, just to help my mom out.
I just felt it was something I needed to do to try to stay close to my brothers. I got to spend one Christmas over there with the in-between brother, Bobby Wayne. Yeah, it was just good to be with him, you know, for the short time. And that was the last time I seen him. When they saw me, he got on to me. He told me I shouldn't have done what I did. But I told him that I needed to be close to my brothers. I mean, there was 9 of us, and, but it was just us 3 that were in Vietnam together.
Slide detail and a half step forward.
I look at it like my dad made it, my brothers made it, and my other cousin made it, you know. And I thought, well, I'm gonna take my warrior pride and keep our legacy going.
How did that affect your family?
And my dad was he was, you know, we're warriors. You know, that's what they look at us as, warriors. And I think he looked at it like, you know, it's a good thing in a way, you know, to keep the legacy going, you know, keep the Indian people proud of, you know, who we are.
Well, they didn't know I enlisted. Yeah, because I was living with my aunt and uncles at the time in Oklahoma City, and then I had 2 cousins that went in December. And after they left, I said, well, I went ahead and enlisted in the Marine Corps after that.
I guess their family, you know, were proud of you, but, you know, they don't tell you that. You know, Indian families ain't going to tell you that. We're all proud of you and all that. They just do it in their way. Yeah.
My family was small. My first child, Ashley, she was about 1.5 years, almost 2 years old. And my son, oldest son, Rexton, and he was 2 weeks old when I left. So I kind of missed him growing up in his early stages. And when I came back from deployment, he was already walking, but he didn't know who I was. But Ashley, she knew who I was, but I know it was rough.
It just was hard on my kid, my daughter. When she was young, she was like 6 years old when I left to war that time. It was really hard on her because it was Christmas Day when I left in 90. And I left on Christmas, and it hurt my daughter so bad from that day. It took years to her enjoy Christmas again because she's always said the military took my dad to war.
I don't know. You just feel like every night you just think about your family. You pray that one of these days you'll see them real soon, but it was hard, really hard. All right. What's the next one in February?
We go to Arizona, not too.
Usually we'll leave that Wednesday evening. Drive all night.
When we were kids, me and my oldest brother, we used to go out in the woods and play Army, never realizing we was actually going to do it. And when I was in Vietnam, it showed me that I could lead, that I could be a good soldier.
Teach you how to, certain abilities you never knew you have, and it also train you to endure a bunch of hardships and stuff like that.
You learn respect. You learn integrity. You learn how to face hard challenges.
It was quite an experience, in the service.
I was injured in West Germany, and I came back home on an emergency leave.
I was in the first hostage crisis, Iran crisis. I remember that just plain as day.
I'm a survivor of ambushes, several ambushes, and I'd be on in some instances I'll be the only one returning fire, and I overcame a fortified position with a machine gun.
Even to this day, that I have bad dreams about is when the ground war broke out and was convoying into Iraq, and I was towards the tail end of the convoy. As I got close, there was this person standing on the side of the road. He dressed just like us. He had a bandana over his face, had his weapon at port arms. And when I looked at him, I didn't feel right. As I got close to him, I looked down. He turned around. He faced the opposite direction. So as I passed by him, I was looking at him. Come to find out, that was all that time, that was an Iraqi standing there. 4 vehicles behind me was a sergeant, major, 1 officer, and a specialist was driving a Blazer. That Iraqi, he riddled that whole Blazer up, and he killed all 4 people in there. And that was just 4 vehicles behind me. And next thing you know, stopped the convoy and just ripped him apart. I mean, the good Lord was looking after me, and I know that had a purpose for me in life. He brought me home safe. But if I'd known who that was, I could have got him, or he could have got me right there. So that's one of the things that really stick in my mind.
After a 4-day patrol, I came out and I got into CP group in the CP, and a friend of mine was getting ready to go out. He started waiting around until I got back in. Me and him talked just a little bit, and he got killed just a few minutes after we got finished talking. There's a guy tripped a booby trap. It was a 155 round, artillery round. Said he lived about 3 times. I'm lucky that I didn't get killed, but I heard bullets go by my ears.
But it does get a hardship. I still had little flashbacks every once in a while, different sounds, different smells, different things will trigger something from the war, because I was around burnt bodies, blown up bodies. I seen bodies pop, blow up. I was on, they called Death Valley up there in Saudi, and that's where they all got captured and got blew up, and we had to go in there and clean it all up. That's the worstest thing I ever seen in my life.
And by the grace of God, I'm still here,
Homecoming, we had, first of all, I'll tell you when we left. They fed us a steak dinner, baked potato, salad, fed us real good. And we got lucky, we flew commercial. And on the plane, they tried to feed us those TV dinners. Everybody just tossed them out. Nobody didn't like it. But coming back home, they gave us those TV dinners again. We licked them things clean. I mean, that was like a buffet right there now.
When I came home, there was no homecoming. Like now you see people at the airport waiting for them to get off a plane, and they're there to pick you up and all this other stuff. I got I got discharged out of South Carolina, and they flew me home to Tulsa, and I had to catch a bus to come all the way home. And then when I got to Henrietta, the bus quit running at 12 o'clock, and I got there at 12:30, and there's nobody on the streets, and it was in January. Yeah, January. I got discharged in January. So I had to, there's no taxi running there, and so I had to get my bag, and I had to hitchhike and get on I-40, and I had to catch a ride, come on home. And wearing those green uniforms and nylon socks and high water pants, it wasn't that, it wasn't that, the homecoming wasn't that great.
In homecoming, I was walking down the street early in the morning by myself. And just got off the bus and walking home. I lived in Shawnee at the time. It was a lonely homecoming.
After I came back home in maybe about a week, well, I was honored again at a dance. I was honored by not non-Indian people. It was my people that honored me at a dance because they looked at me as a warrior.
Right before the Desert Storm, the war broke out in Desert Storm, I retired out 21 years as an E7. So, and I think that was my final final time of the military. Then I joined the Seminole Nation Honor Guard.
I've been in Honor Guard since 1999, and one of our members, late members, name was Chabon Mitchell, and he asked me, I need to get in, and told me about the Brotherhood, that he feels in the organization and how good it makes him feel. And so I said, okay, I'll try it out. So I got in, and I really did enjoy it. It really is like a brotherhood.
Well, somewhere, and I seen the color guard somewhere, and I like what they was doing, bringing in the flags and representing the veterans and their families. And then I thought about it, so, about my uncles and all this being in there, and I can do this in honor of them,
I do it to honor, our fallen ones, our brothers in arms.
I came in during the inception of the color guard when it first started. It's been going on about 30 years now. I've been with the color guard longer than I have one woman,
I can talk to these guys. We can communicate better than we can communicate with a civilian.
Because there's certain things you can say, and there's some things that they don't understand what military personnel have been through, and civilians don't understand what one part we did, and we try to explain it to them. They say, "Oh, really?"
The color guard for me is just another extension of my family,
Honestly, if I didn't have this honor guard all these years, there's no telling what I'd be doing.
We could possibly be one of the best ambassadors of the tribe. We've been all over the country, you might say.
But I'm very proud of our organization.